How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to 14 Personnel. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today we are talking potential sell high candidates. And when I say sell high, it's guys that you're thrilled you have them right now. You know, it's not a bad thing to own any of these players, but I'm looking to upgrade to players I believe in a little bit more, or guys, you know, superstars that may be having down weeks or down starts to the year that I think are going to be better long-term. Again, if you keep any of these players, I don't blame you. It's tough to get away from them, especially when, you know, all of them are on pace to be great or, you know, have the hype around them with, you know, one of the guys specifically here. So let's get into it. First guy on our list, Hollywood Brown. And again, he has been phenomenal. 17 points a game, just under 80 yards a game, seeing just under 8 targets a game. That puts him on pace for about 121 targets, you know, over 16, 17 games there. The reason I think he's someone I would be happy to move on from and, you know, an upgrade is Rashad Bateman is coming back. He's going to take targets away from somebody. And I do think it ends up being Hollywood Brown. We saw some of the inconsistency issues already. Last week, he had a couple of drops, 2-3 would-be touchdowns, which is really putting a damper now on where he's currently ranked. He's currently wide receiver 14. It could have been much higher. And again, Bateman is coming back. Some of that workload is going to drop. I mean, he's only gone over 70 yards once. Really, one monster game is saving him right now. And if people aren't aware of Rashad Bateman, first-round pick in the draft this year, looking to shore up the wide receiver room, he's going to get work when he does get back on the field. I'm happy to move Hollywood Brown right now. Some guys I think you could ask for back in return, you know, not looking for one-for-one swaps really at wide receiver. But if you could package Hollywood Brown and a lower-end running back, you know, potentially like Tony Pollard, who is on this list, for someone like David Montgomery, who has a great schedule coming up. Justin Fields is going to get better. Hopefully Nagy gives up play calling, you know, fingers crossed. Or even someone like Jonathan Taylor, if you're willing to offer up, you know, a better running back like, say, James Robinson. Some guys I think you can kick the tires on this week before, you know, Montgomery and JT both bounce back in week 4. So just 2 names to keep an eye on. Another name here, and this one, I am nervous even putting this out there, but it is what it is. Deebo Samuel right now is a superstar. Currently the wide receiver 3, 19.4 a game, over 100 yards, 10 targets a week. I am still looking to sell high, but he is someone I need to get a crap ton back to move on from him. Brandon Ayuk is starting to earn his role back. He's starting to reintegrate into that offense. You know, 6 targets, up from 3 targets, up from 0 targets, you know, in week 1. And with that should come some target regression for Deebo Samuel. Again, this team should not be playing from behind all that often. They established the run. Elijah Mitchell getting healthy could also take away from some of the passing volume. So I do think this is as good as it gets for Deebo Samuel. And again, he's wide receiver 3. He has been phenomenal. But there are some things coming up that could limit him. If Trey Lance eventually takes over, that could hurt his ceiling as well, because Jimmy G has been fine as far as passing goes. With Deebo Samuel, though, again, I want superstar players back. I want Jonathan Taylor. I want Antonio Gibson. I might even ask for Chris Carson plus a little bit on top. So those are the kind of guys you should be targeting. Do not sell him for Javonte Williams or someone cheap like that who, while there's upside, is not a sure thing. Because right now, Deebo is a sure thing as long as he stays healthy. Another one on the list here, we have Melvin Gordon, and you just heard me mention Javonte Williams. There's upside with Javonte Williams, and that is why I'm looking to get away from Melvin Gordon still. He's coming in just under 15 points a game, you know, 16 touches or opportunities if you include targets and rushes, but I still do not believe. He just has not been that good. 36% of his yards, you know, rushing yards have come on 1 carry. A 70-yard touchdown, and while that is great, I'm not it's not what I want to bank on with an older Melvin Gordon who's still talented. But I do think as the season wears on, we're going to see more and more Javonte Williams. We're going to see less of Melvin Gordon. And Javonte has just looked better, from a guy that makes everybody miss, one of the highest missed tackle rates in the NFL right now per touch. So Melvin Gordon is a guy, if I can flip him for some other wide receivers, and this may sound gross because 2 of them are hurt. If I can flip Melvin Gordon for Deontay Johnson or T. Higgins, I am doing a 1-for-1 swap all day long. Even Chase Claypool, I will take. The Steelers' offense is broken, but those receivers still produce. The Steelers are gross. I'm okay with getting back Juju, Deontay, Claypool from Melvin Gordon here. But again, it could backfire if he continues to hold on to the job. I don't see it playing out that way. And finally, last guy on the list here, we have Tony Pollard coming in just under 13 points a game, only 11.5 touches, 11.6 per game as well. And this is really a sell the hype pick. He has been fine. He's been great in real life. The calls for Zeke to lose work and Tony Pollard is the better back. I don't believe that still. I don't buy it. Zeke is still the guy in Dallas. And again, is he losing some work to Tony Pollard? Obviously. Just about 12 touches, 12 opportunities a week. But with all the hype around Tony Pollard, I will gladly package him up and move him for someone better, for a better wide receiver, a running back upgrade even. If you can package him and go get Marvin Jones, a 1-for-1 swap, actually, not a package. But if you can go do that, I'm pulling the trigger all day long. Marvin Jones is seeing, 8 to 9 targets a week. He's good for 60 to 100 yards. He's been phenomenal. Tony Pollard comes with ups and downs. Again, 1 game over 10 points, 1 game over 70 yards, and he has all the hype in the world. You can sell him for more than he's worth right now, and those are the kind of moves you should look to make in fantasy, if you can give up a running back here. All right, guys, those are the 4 we have. I know it's tough to get away from them. I know it's not going to be a popular take to trade any of these 4, really, maybe Melvin Gordon, but sometimes you got to do it and take a chance on some underperforming players to really increase the ceiling of your team. Let me know who you agree with, who you disagree with, and if you have questions, drop them in the comments and make sure to subscribe. All right, guys. Again, catch me over on Twitter at Justin_14P, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.